What? Yo, Oda is teasing the life out of the Sanji plot point. We do get to learn more stuff though. Got Laboon and Crocus on the cover page there, and I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to learn who the guy. Remember the last time we saw Crocus? He was having sake or having a conversation with this guy that had like a weird hat, but we only saw the guy from the back, so I mean we didn't get to learn who that person was. Started off with Sanji asking questions like the shocker of like, what is this? Why the hell is this going on right now? Now that like Sanji and Capone are gone, they leave by the end of this chapter. I think the one person that could serve as the source of information to give us a little bit of info, like more info about Sanji, would be Brook, because he's the oldest. So I mean, I think Brook has been around long enough to know who the fuck I think he recognizes like the Vince Smoke family name. He's like, oh, that name, it sends a chill down my spine. And then he says, wait, no, it can't be, or something like that. So I'm assuming Brook knows something. And I think Robin must also know something about the Vince Smoke family as well. Because it sounds, the way they're talking about the family, it's not just like, oh, like this random. No, it seems like it's a pretty well-known name. At least for some people. And then we have Nami thinking back on like this moment where like, you know, they're having a conversation of like Nolan the liar. And I like it because it's like Oda just drew that in saying, remember that conversation that apparently like you thought was fucking irrelevant back in Jaya about like Sanji being from the North Blue? Turns out the conversation was actually character foreshadowing. And Brook even says like, damn, from North Blue to East Blue, I mean, that is not an easy trip to make. I mean, this journey is like, you crossed the red line for that shit. I don't know about you guys, but the feeling that I got from this chapter, or that I got more and more as I read it, is pretty much like, I think it's pretty much set in stone that Sanji was running away from something. I mean, because he said, like, he crossed the red line. That's not like going to the corner store and shit. Like, that is a legitimate trip, especially for a young kid. To cross the red line, that's really weird. So he must have really not liked where he was from, or something must have gone horribly wrong for that to happen. Part of me thinks that that's one of the main reasons why he never said anything about it, because the more ashamed you are of your past, the more and more you try to hide it or pretend like it didn't exist. Which you shouldn't do. You should just accept it as something that happened and consider it a pretty big chunk of the forming process of the person that you are today. So, and now it's just popping up in the present for Sanji. So now here Caesar says something pretty interesting that I honestly had not thought about. And that's the fact that if Sanji marries like into the Charlotte family, the Big Mom family, the Straw Hat crew automatically becomes like underlings of Big Mom. I'm like, fuck that shit. Like Luffy's not gonna be okay with that, especially because he already picked a fight with Big Mom. And then Sanji's like yeah, so Luffy, like, he's not taking orders from anyone. Like, that's just not him. That's not his character. And then he says, he's going to be the one. He's going to be the man who becomes king of the pirates. And I love that because I think Sanji's like the third member of the crew to actually like, just state that to other people outside of like just, no, Luffy, you don't understand. Luffy will become Pirate King. Zoro, I think, is the first one to say something to that effect when he loses to Mihawk. He's like, he pledges that he's never going to lose again. He's like, is that okay with you, King of the Pirates? So he acknowledges that. And then I think later he says the same thing to Kuma. Something like no, like Luffy will become King of the Pirates. Guys, so cool. And then Usopp says something in Alabasta when I think the mole, the gopher lady, tells her like, oh, like, by the way, your captain is dead. He's like, no, you're lying. That's a fucking lie. You know, how do you know it's a lie? Because he's going to become King of the Pirates. And then Sanji now is like, no. Like, no. So the fact that they, in their minds, Luffy is already kind of king of the pirates, that's great. I love that. They just believe in their captain so much. It's really heartwarming. Because, like, this type of loyalty is, like, I mean, especially in this day and age, woo! Where are you going to find that? Sanji's like, what a crazy thing. Like a marriage to a woman that I've never met. For some reason, I thought the not meeting her part would not be a problem for Sanji. And then Capone is like, you misunderstood me. You misunderstand. I offered you a piece of paper, but this is not an invitation. Whoa, like the entire area just starts turning into cannons and weapons and shit. Like even the chandeliers and the candles turn into blades. And Capone can actually move his body even from within his body. So he starts walking away and like he starts sucking up Nami like quicksand. Everything inside of the castle, which is technically his body, he can manipulate, which I think is a pretty cool, like that adds another really cool layer to his power. Do you think like this is his awakening mode, perhaps? I think it kind of has to be, because it really does, the way that everything is moving within the castle really does remind me of Doflamingo's string awakening mode. And then we have Vito there, and you know, we see his design fully. He has really big hands, and these guns are kind of oversized as well. His tongue is kind of like a, you know, a lizard tongue. And, you know, he's just kind of threatening, like, Sanji in a way, like, you have to go. The invite is not really an invite. It's more like a summon. So he goes over to Sanji, and, you know, by the way, he has a very distinctive laugh, which is... Anyway, so he goes over to Sanji, and he pulls a Sasuke/Itachi. When Itachi's about to die, he's like... says something to Sasuke. We don't know. We find out later what it was. It's the same thing here. Vito is whispering into Sanji's ear saying, like... I really don't have anything important to say, but I just want you to know that we need to tease this plot point even further. So just come with us, write a fucking note, and bail. I'm kidding, of course. It's actually something really important, because then Sanji says, how did you guys find out? Like, how do you know this? Who do you think we work for? Don't confuse me with one of fucking Doflamingo's scrubs. I'm fucking Diamante. See this right here? All around you. These are the big leagues, my boy. What I like about that panel, though, is that we finally get to see, you know, a shot of Big Mom's face in more detail than I think we've ever seen before. So that happens, and then Sanji's like, shit. He writes the note. He goes over to his crewmates. He's like, hey, guys, I'm really sorry about this. Like, I never wanted to hide this from you, but, you know, now I have to go put an end to, you know, this part of my past. He hugs his crewmates and then pushes them out of Capone's body. And I'm like, shit. Because even though it was intentional, it does kind of feel like this is some type of a sacrifice. It does, I mean, I really do think like this is Robin 2.0. At least the scene gives, you know, that feeling to me. It's funny because he doesn't push Caesar to safety. Like, he just pushes Nami, Chopper, and Brooke. And Caesar's like, wait, what about me? And not only that, but he actually threatens to shoot Caesar in this chapter. So I'm like, what the... He, unless that gun has like some type of like sea stone bullets, I'm not really sure how that would work. Or unless Caesar is tied up with like, you know, I'm assuming he's tied up with like sea stone chains. The reason why Sanji pushed out the Straw Hats the moment he did is because he used his observation hockey to sense that Nekomamushi was there. And when I saw that panel of like giant fucking Nekomamushi standing behind Capone, I'm like, yo, if Capone doesn't get out of here, like... Nekomamushi's gonna rip him a new asshole. Then Sanji puts two and two together and he figures out something that most of us could have inferred from the start, which is the fact that, oh, like, he's wanted only alive, therefore he can't be hurt or killed in this case. So he uses that to his advantage. He's like, if you put one finger on my friends, your deal is gonna fall apart. I know who the guy is that is setting this stuff up. It turns out that the one arranging the marriage and the one responsible for the wanted only alive bounty poster description is the same person. So it has to be a person that has both influence in the government and influence in the pirate world. So I'm thinking, maybe the Gorosei at this point? Do you have any ideas? Nami's like, Sanji, just get out of there. You have to come with us. And then Sanji's like, I promise I'll be back. Tell everyone I say hi. And I don't know why, but that panel really reminded me of the panel when Naruto promises Sakura that he's going to bring Sasuke back to the village. I promise I'll bring him back. Which is funny because Sanji's original name was supposed to be Naruto. Capone turns his bottom half into a tank and he hauls ass out of there. And then we get a final shot of the note that Sanji left. And for some reason, I'm beginning to think that maybe, like, the thing about his past and the thing... like related to why he has to go back has more to do with his mother than with anything else. I just think this goes a lot deeper than a lot of us previously anticipated that it would be. So yeah, those are just I think it has something to do with his mom, his mother, and obviously her relationship with Sanji's father. Something like regarding like the world government, if not like royalty. It's about influence. Again, these marriages are about combining two very powerful, influential names, if not one less powerful than the other, to gain more power in that union. Personally, even though I thought the chapter was pretty much a tease, I thought it was a really good chapter. It's a tease done right, if that makes any sense. But anyway, please tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like the review if you did, I appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel for more One Piece reviews. Thank you for everything, and I'll catch you guys later.